Hello and welcome back to another episode of Octo Reacts, featuring everyone's favourite 8-foot handsome reselling octopus, me, the disgruntled octopus. Hello! And today we're actually going to do a bit of change of pace, actually. We're doing a celebration of my 1 year on YouTube and also 1,500 subscribers, which I clicked over a couple of days ago. Thank you very much for all those that subbed off the back of the last week's video, the one we did on Matt the Aussie Flipper. Unfortunately, I had to do it. I had a few people reach out to me asking me to do it. I don't particularly like doing videos like that, as I mentioned in one of the comments. And also, sometimes you have to teach humans how to human. So what better way of teaching people other than from an octopus? But today we're actually doing a reaction video to, I suppose, a couple of my earlier appearances, just to show those people out there that are considering YouTube and quite scared of the process, quite scared of getting in front of a camera and doing all those different things. There's nothing to be scared of. Everyone's bad. So you're not going to be, hopefully you're the exception to the rule and you're good straight off the bat. But I suppose I would class myself somewhat as a proficient public speaker. I'm quite comfortable in that space. As you'll probably find as the clip rolls, I'm not too comfortable in front of a camera, especially one where you're recording yourself, and more often than not, you are by yourself. That's why I prefer to do podcasts or have people on, or even reaction videos, just to give me that, something to bounce off and talk to people like that. So as you can see, these are probably a collection of 10 or 4 or 5 random videos that I've compiled over the space of the last year, just to give you an indication of, from my very, very first appearance 2 years ago, right up to last week, and give you an indication of how I've improved or didn't improve, for lack of a better term. And anyone can do this. So by all means, have a look, have a laugh. Please don't unsubscribe because they're cringy as hell. But next week we'll go back to harassing YouTubers. So without further ado, here we go.
There's a bit of hype around. A few people dropping the old octopus in the chat. I'm so ready to get wet tonight with the octopus from Ruck Raid.
Jesus.
Seal, Furlong, Chris. Everyone's.
So Chris Furlong, a little bit of an inside joke, I suppose. Uncle Wayno used to have me on his Sunday night show. We used to team up with Chris Furlong, and for the longest time, Chris had no idea who I was. I would always wear the costume. So it was a bit of an inside joke. At this point, no one knew who I was other than Uncle Wayno and Brad from Two Aussie Thrifters.
Everyone's looking forward to the octopus. Octopus is actually lurking in the chat. So I have seen something pop up down the bottom. Now, I'm not sure we're all ready for this. Now, obviously,
if you can work out, this is my first appearance. I almost fell off my chair. So if you watch very closely, and I'll make sure the camera's zooms up the whole screen just to give you an indication of where you can find it, where I fell off my chair. But like I was saying, it's just cutting the cord and just taking a leap of faith for YouTube. You're not going to be perfect overnight, or 127 videos later in my case. But just give it a crack and go for all those different things. Here we go.
The disgruntled octopus has been a bit of an enigma for quite a while. Who knows where this is going to go? It could go anywhere. Here he is. We've got a plush octopus. We've got a. Hang on. What's going on here? This is getting a bit. Right, here he comes. The octopus himself is in the house.
Good evening, squishy humans. Just if you are looking at doing YouTube, probably the first thing you probably want to do, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, get some AirPods and get a decent microphone. That's probably the biggest thing, and you will probably find as you go through a couple of clips of my podcast that I do with Grumpy Granny and Blake, you'll notice the audio quality. The audio quality is obviously muffled by my beautiful mouth here a bit as well, but if you get a microphone, have it really close up to you. Generally speaking, if you are not an octopus for that matter, you probably don't need to buy a microphone off the bat. But yes, like Nightmare Flippers, they used to be on YouTube, and hopefully they come back soon enough. They also wore masks, Freddy and Ghostface, and they had the same problem with the audio. So just make sure that if you are looking at, being a handsome octopus such as myself, invest in probably a $100 or $200 microphone. Just do some research. Good morning, squishy humans. So this is actually my I suppose, the podcast pilot, if you will. So Leanne Grogan, which is obviously my beloved Grumpy Granny, she reached out to us in the chat of, I think it was Uncle Wayne's chat, actually. Might have been Chris Furlong's chat. We were doing a little bit of bantering between each other, and a few people actually mentioned it would be fantastic just to see us on the screen together and how we act. So I reached out to Leanne and asked her if she'd like to be interviewed by the Octopus, which was one of my very, 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 very first projects, if you will. She agreed, and you can see how bad I was straight off the bat. And like I said before, I'm not not saying I've gotten any better, but you could probably notice the difference in how I talk and the speech patterns. Little bit of an advisory notice. I was a bit rough around the edges when I started. Generally, I'm seen, I was called a misogynist back in those times. It wasn't the intention. I was trying to make it gruff and more of a world-dominating octopus. So it's not the intention if it comes across that way. But yeah, like I said, just have a bit of a watch and see how bad it was. And by all means, like I said, use this as a starting point for how bad you will be on YouTube and be better. You can't be worse than me. What we have today is a bit of a treat, actually. We've got Leanne from Grogu's Patch. Don't look like a little alien, but hey, close enough. So basically, Leanne. So what I was referencing then, if you look over Leanne's right shoulder, or your left if you're looking from this monitor, she's a little orange octopus one of her friends at the nursing home knitted for her. So I was making reference to that. And needless to say, that joke probably fell very flat. I'm here to insult you and hopefully trade barbs. Well, that hasn't changed. We're still insulting each other, but probably more comical now. So welcome.
Thank you.
That's all right. Yes,
it'll be a change. Like you can't be nice to me because that would be too much of a shock, really.
Well, that's right. You've got 8 minutes to impress me, or I'm going to throw you off the show and do the rest of myself. Funny, I normally tell Leah that before we record every podcast as well. So not much has changed in the last 12 months. Such a handsome octopus. Look at him. Oh, look at him. Good evening, everyone. So now we've moved on to Figsy, which is my second episode, and obviously Figsy was somewhat impressed by the video that I did with Leanne, because he actually reached out to me and asked me if I would interview him in a similar vein. And by this stage, I was doing a bit of research on YouTube, and what I found was to be somewhat successful on YouTube, you needed to wear a hat. So if you look at Brad from Two Aussie Thrifters, you look at the Aussie Flipper, you look at a plethora, Drew Trott and Chris Furlong. When it gets cold, he wears a beanie. So by all means, that I was trying to solidify myself as an up and coming YouTube star by wearing a hat. Needless to say, it didn't last very long. And also, if you are recording at nighttime, which I don't recommend unless you've got appropriate lighting, probably a little bit of lighting, better lighting as well if you're doing that from a YouTube perspective as well. But like I said, your first videos are going to be rubbish, as you can see by here. So don't invest in the high quality equipment straight up. Just see if you like it and move on. So and that's the part of it. I wouldn't have continued it if I didn't like it. So I've got another special guest, Figsy's Games. So welcome.
G'day. How's it going?
Good. Some say Figsy's still locked in my dungeon down underground, so I'll have to double check. But Figsy is a phenomenal human. He runs a live on a Sunday afternoon, basically a bit of a podcast regarding video games. So if you are in the video game space, definitely watch giving him a watch. There we go. I'm still tripping over my words a year later. Yeah, so basically, I'm not too sure. Like a lot of my guests want to come through the day, but Figsy is a bit of a night owl by the looks of it. Like old ladies with a diamond. So the cuts are coming thick and fast. I can't keep up with them. So this is our first episode of the podcast, the worst reselling podcast ever. I don't think we actually gave it a title back then. So this has come back out in I think it might have been in the end of May or the 1st of June. So Leanne and I, off the back of our first video, I reached out to her and asked her if she wanted to do a podcast. Oh, no, sorry, correction to that. My memory is quite hazy. And this is the problem with the 9 brains. I keep constantly fighting with you, is that she reached out to me and asked if she would be, or if I'd be interested in her interviewing me. And we had a bit of a conversation. We actually decided we'll do a podcast together. Let me know what you think of the podcast. If you want it to continue, I am releasing a new series where we are building a project business, if you will. So we are building a business in the community where the community will basically have a say of what products we say, and it's going to be literally a step-by-step onto how to create a business. So if you want and like I'm saying, the podcast or the Octo Reacts videos will probably have to take a back seat for that. Whatever you choose, if you like the Octo Reacts or you like the podcast, let me know in the comment section below, because one of them will slide to a fortnightly scale. But here's the video with Leanne, so here we go. Does it on YouTube. I'm the world's only I can't even say it. That hasn't changed. I'm still tripping over my words. It's a bit, like I said, going back to it, go find your favorite YouTuber, go back to the very, very first videos and just use that as a benchmark. Like I said, that everyone has to start somewhere. Everyone's equally bad. No one makes fun of you. There's a good chance that a lot of people won't find your initial videos, so you won't have to hide too much. But because Leanne and I kind of talked it up, did a lot of advertising, did a lot of, I suppose, backroom deals in that capacity, we did have quite a big reception for our first YouTube video. It's not normally the way. Some channels I watch, they normally get about the 1 or 2 views, and that's where the first video stops. But keep plugging it along. But if you're on my advice, build an audience before you actually start YouTube. Spend 3 months going to people's lives all over the world. You don't have to limit yourself to the country you're in. Introducing yourself, getting engaged, and then obviously reaching out to that content creator and say, hey, look, my name's the Disgruntled Octopus. I'm looking at doing a podcast next week. Do you mind if I just advertise it once or twice in your live stream or in your comment section? And, if they say no, take no for an answer, as like we learnt last week. Or alternatively, a lot of the people that I've spoken to have been more than happy to help out new and upcoming channels. And like I said, don't create a pest for yourself, but just make mention of that, especially after a couple of months of building rapport with that channel. Don't just pop into random channels and publicize yourself, then jump out again, never to be seen again. But like I said, that Leanne and I did a lot of footwork leading up to this episode, and like I said, we did get a good, decent turnout. Insulted me so much. The world's only reselling octopus, and also known as the benevolent dictator. I've been on eBay for about 2014. So what I referenced then was when I started that Lego project website that I was telling you about previously. My first iteration on eBay was back 2006, 2007 when I was importing arcade boards. But like I said, primarily for the sake of, reselling on eBay for a decent amount of time, went back to 2014. Squirreling away, building a sunken treasure collection for obviously to sell my wares on eBay. God, this is bad. If you haven't tuned out so far, thank you. But hopefully it will get better. Bit of an everything seller. So I think, what about you, Leah? What do you normally specialize? Welcome back. I think we're on episode 4 now, Grumpy Granny.
We are.
So this is the episode, we did a little bit of an episode about AI. So this is when eBay started bringing in AI descriptions into the platform. A lot of people were using ChatGPT to do a lot of descriptions and videos and photos and all these different things. And looks like Grumpy Granny didn't get the memo, but we were doing like a tinfoil hat episode. So that's what things on my head. I'm not getting a perm or getting a colour or a blue rinse. Just a bit of a conspiracy theory episode.
Isn't that amazing?
I don't think I was going to last you that long. I don't think I could put up with you, but here we are. Here we are indeed.
Exactly. Well, maybe I'm just an AI creation for all you know. That's right.
I have to give Leanne one thing. That she's phenomenal presence online or on video per se. Like she's almost born natural. All her videos were very good, even from the start. Like you can tell the difference between my uncomfortableness on camera compared to hers. So she obviously, she probably records herself all the time. Well, that's exactly right. Little do people know we're actually taking this week off. This is completely AI generated.
Exactly, it is. Yes.
Yeah, so see, the AI is quite impressive. Yeah, they've made a good-looking octopus and a not-so-good-looking grandma.
No. Well, I do keep telling everyone that you are who you look like. You are a real octopus, but for some reason they don't believe me.
And they still don't believe me that I'm a real octopus. So this is the episode we did a review on Daily Refinement and Tech and Sports monthly Patreon group, I suppose. To say the least, it wasn't well received. Our intention was just to, I suppose, provide the greater audience a realistic take on it, a realistic review that's not, swayed or otherwise. Needless to say, we were asked to leave the group after this. I didn't think it was that bad.
I reckon, though, take the congratulations and get the momentum happening, and it'll make you even more famous.
Well, that's exactly right. Look, I'm rubbing my hands together at the prospects of world domination. Well, not hands, exactly. Tentacles, rather.
Tentacles, yes.
Well, they believe Henry the Octopus is a real octopus. I just don't know where they don't go with me. Throwing my tentacles in the air, not. So if you look, this is about, I think it was about 10 or 12 episodes in the podcast, and you can look at my speech patterns of becoming more comfortable. Not there perfect or any capacity, like I said before, not even there now 100 episodes later, but you notice that I'm becoming more comfortable in front of a camera. And this is what you'll find if you do YouTube on a regular basis. If you are looking at building a brand outside of eBay, if you are building, I suppose, a bit of an image for yourself, like Blake Gorfine or a lot of other YouTubers, strongly recommend jumping onto YouTube, even if it's in the short space or even on TikTok. Just build your brand that way, get a bit of brand familiarization, and it'll go miles. I'm reaping the benefits of it now. So definitely do it that if you're that way inclined. Knowing what's going on anymore.
Yeah, they're very active today.
Yes. Like I said, they've had their 3 cups of coffee in the last 15 minutes, so they got to mind their own. And that's the problem with having 9 brains. You can't control what's going on half the time. That's everything.
Looking forward to the
octopus that are they got to mind their own. And that's the problem with having 9 brains. You can't control what's going on. It's still the same. It might be diagnosed as ADHD. I don't know. Maybe I'm the first octopus that has ADHD. Half the time. That's everything going on. Hello, humans. It's good to see you. I'm the Disgruntled Octopus. And if you've just stumbled across this channel, hello and welcome. It's good to see you, and I hope you enjoy your stay. A little bit about this episode. So basically, I've had to hire a human to do the So a bit of this one. This is my first reaction video. Not really comfortable in front of the camera by myself. Like I said before, I'd rather speak to other people and bounce off other people, just have a bit of a conversation. Because, like I was saying before and 100 times before, I keep repeating myself, is that one of those things you have to just take the Band-Aid off and try it. And this is why I did it. The off chance that someone wanted to leave the podcast, or Leanne wanted to leave the podcast, and Blake eventually did, is that I'd either have to do the podcast by myself or get into a stage where I can, carry on a standalone YouTube channel by myself. So strongly recommend, if you are looking in the YouTube space, probably start off with yourself, a couple of episodes, then probably find someone else if you're that way inclined. Just have a bit of a podcast, have a bit of a chat, and go from that way. It's definitely easier, in my opinion, having someone to talk to. Reaction videos for me, because I'm quite busy with my world domination aspirations. As you're quite aware, I've recently returned to full-time employment, so I'm not really having much time to do the YouTube as such. Yeah, that's right.
Good thing he's got a replacement, but
well, that's right. Like I said, I'm occasionally. So this is the week that Granny and I went looking for Blake, and we got sidetracked. We went to the Willy Wonka's experience in Glasgow, and we had Minion J fill in for me and with Blake. So this is a little bit about this one. And this is, I think, maybe the first or second time that Minion J's been on the channel. Allowed out of the dungeon to basically do some episodes. I've done some, what do they call it, reaction videos in the last week or so. And actually, I think we record on a Sunday. So basically, I have to kind of work out where we are in the grand scheme of things. It's really confusing. So this episode comes out on Tuesday because, the masses have spoken, Blake. They don't want the episode cut up into bite-sized chunks. But
you there? It's only been an hour as well.
And we finally get to Matty the Aussie Flipper. So this is last week's video, where you will basically see right up to the point where I suppose my first introduction onto YouTube, all the way up to here. And the space of the year, like I said numerous times, I'm not perfect, and but you can notice a difference in pattern. So like I said, the more that you do YouTube, more that you do I suppose getting comfortable in front of the camera by yourself and talking to no one in particular, the better you become.
It hasn't taken very much time to get that stock.
So what he was talking there, he's actually he picked up 10 items in an hour. So realistically, I know, Blake, for example, he gets wholesale lots that come to him every fortnight. it takes 2-week lead time to get to him, I think, from memory, what he was saying. And he gets maybe 100 pieces and all these different things. So that potentially what Matt was saying then is getting 10 items for an hour on average. That's potentially 10 hours of work that could be resolved primarily through wholesale. Yeah, so that's basically the journey of the octopus from there. Like I said numerous times, is that it's one of those things, it's a skill set that you just improve on as you go. If you want to reach out, if you are looking at getting onto YouTube, by all means, reach out to me. I will give you some advice. I'm not perfect by any means, so I strongly suggest you reaching out to a lot more established YouTubers that have been around for a long time. But this is primarily from my experience that I've found in the last 12 months. I've had the absolute pleasure with working with some phenomenal humans in the last 12 months. I can't go past Grumpy Granny and Blake. I've also had Brad, John the reseller, Brad from 2 Aussie Thrifters, Uncle Wayno numerous times, Mary, 365 Vintage Hunter. Too many to count. I've had actually Hilo, the Railroad reseller, graced me with his presence. I've been numerous times onto Shane Soda City Flips' channel. So, like I say, it's fantastic opportunity to know and get to talk to people. Is that. And like I said numerous times, the Grumpy Granny is I love talking to people, and YouTube provides an opportunity not only to talk to people within your little space, but further afield as well, and also business opportunities. I've had people reach out to me and offer to sell me Skylanders and sponsorship deals and all these different things that they've done. So in the space of the 12 months, I think I've come pretty far. But all means, if you want my advice from, I suppose, if you are looking at doing YouTube, regardless or not, you're going to get it. So basically, long story short, you need to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours to become fully monetized. So where you're actually making money off the videos. So what you want to do from that is, I suppose, the quickest way to do that is probably to make a podcast. Grumpy Granny and I, through our podcast, we hit 4,000 hours, I think about 4 months in. A lot of YouTubers that I speak to, let's say that the biggest hurdle they find from a reselling space is getting the watch hours. We had the opposite. We didn't actually get the subscribers. We had about 9,000 watch hours by the time we clicked out to 1,000 subscribers each. And the reason why we clicked out to 1,000 subscribers, we actually used YouTube's partner program, where they actually let you, I suppose, sponsor a video. We paid $50 each, and YouTube promoted our videos. So we did get a lot of subscribers from that. I think we got about 400 or 500 each, which is why I don't class my 1,500 as 1,500 per se, because there's a lot of dead space and a lot of dead subscribers in that never watch the channel or never will watch the channel. There's only just subscribe because YouTube told them to. But that, like I said, that I was happy to pay that $50 because it clicked over and was giving me an opportunity to start earning ad revenue off the back of those videos. So, but definitely get your 4,000 watch hours up, get to about 600 or 700 subscribers, then possibly just pay the $50 to get, to promote your videos on YouTube and get your subscribers that way. Strongly don't recommend doing it via, I suppose, Fiverr or, other, I suppose, computer farms per se. I know there are other YouTubers in the space that have bought subscribers through less than ethical means. So I don't think that is really supported by YouTube. I can't really comment because I haven't really researched too much into it. But by all means, I wouldn't go down that path of paying like $10 for 1,000 subscribers or something, because you're only going to hurt your channel in the long run. And by all means, what I find is that if you get one view for like maybe 10% of your view count. So, for example, like if you release a video and you got 1,500 subscribers, what I'm finding, if you get 150 views, that's doing pretty well. So like probably 1 in 10 to your subscriber count will probably watch your videos. And I've done a bit of that across the board of the bigger YouTube channels as well. So if you look at their subscriber count and look at their views, generally that 10% rule, from my perspective, you're doing pretty well. But by all means, like I said, if you want to reach out and have a chat about YouTube, more than happy to do it. Highly recommend, if you are building a business or building a brand, you need to get in the social media space, right? So definitely jump on it sooner rather than later. And like I said, that no one's going to laugh at your first videos, or they're not going to make fun of you. Everyone knows, and everyone's quite accommodating, right? So they'll, you'll get past it, you'll get better, hopefully better than me, and then you can go on your merry way. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.